Mars and Pisces, they very sensitive. We talk about these people here, they so sensitive. It's just like whatever touch them, they feel. Whatever touch them, they take it in deeply. Like you talk about the ocean, they like at the bottom of the ocean with these feelings. And so they very emotional. And when Mars is in Pisces, it motivates them to be more empathic. It motivates them to feel more and to be more emotional. So these people here, on the downside, they could be very lazy. So what Mars do, when they on the downside, they can be very lazy too. So with that being said, what Mars do make them super intuitive, super empathic. But it make these people who have Mars and Pisces a spiritual warrior who stands strong when it comes to the spiritual world. Because Pisces deal with spirituality, it deal with imagination, so it make them super imaginative. So what Mars do, that I mean, some more self-expressive. So they're very devoted. They give them a sense of devotion about expressing themselves. It makes them more in tune with the music of life and the rhythm of life. And so these people are very good creative artists. And so, cause the imagination is so vivid and so bright and so real, but they can visualize something where it seems so real. They see holographic pictures, so they're very clairvoyant. Not only empath, they basically have all the psychic ability. They even could be a medium. So when you got Mars and Pisces, just add more fire to the water, make them more compassionate, even more snappish, but not really like a Cancer. They won't be snappish like that. They will use their snappish to avoid people, to escape people. The way they snappish is, they snappish in the way they avoid you, the way they stay away from you, and more like holding on to grudges and stuff like that. So they really not snappish, but the way I'm using snappish is like they holding a grudge or they avoiding you, stuff like that. But it could snap, but it won't be like how a Cancer would snap. See what I'm saying? And so they would have like, they could have like hot temper flares, but these people will be detached from you. They stay detached. When they get angry or something, they stay detached. It's all about detachment. But on the upside, these are some of the best people to have in the world because they're here to help you reach your higher self and to enlighten you, because they're like the old soul. So when Mars is in the old soul, wow, this is you activate the old soul more, make it more activated, make it more lively, make it more fun-loving and more loving and more compassion. And so he speaks of the Cancer, make them more visualize or think about love. It's all about love. And so these people are highly intuitive. They're super intuitive. And so they just know things. And so they live by their intuition, definitely. But they can be seen as unpredictable when dealing with Mars. See what I'm saying? Mars had them leading by the heart, but at the same time, Pisces are the type that always vouch for the underdogs. They're the champions of the other underdogs and stuff like that. The thing about the Pisces, though, they got a mean radar intuition where they can scam you and they can tell if you are fake, you're phony, and you're all about lies. But on the downside, they also can be superficial themselves and being impractical and not living practical, because Pisces is a spiritual water sign. And so they can fantasize a lot, but they got the ability to visualize something or fantasize about something and carry it out, because Mars give them that energy. Mars even make them more able to carry out their visions. And so whatever their visions, whatever they think of, whatever is their goal, Mars give them the energy to do that. These people own is kindness, a gentle heart. Those who are kind, those who are generous, because they themselves are very generous. They're probably the most generous sign there is as far as Pisces. And so what Mars do, it makes them more giving, more the life of a party, more a free spirit, and don't have no boundaries. Depend on their moves, because they deal with the moves. Just like the moon, they deal with the moons. Like Cancer, They deal with their mood. So it's the mood of them at the moment of the time, or even the moods of their environment, because they can feel the energy, they can feel the vibes. Easy for Mars and Cancer energy to be drained. So they need time to recuperate. They need time, isolation time to themselves to get their energy back all the time, because they deal with energy constantly. Just like a Cancer, Mars and Cancer, they love romance. I don't really like to use the word romance, but I'm gonna say they love the dream of love, of this fantasy. You know what I mean? But at the same time, this love is intertwined with sex, and so it's the same as sex for them. So they got a deep fantasy about love. Materialistic, so they can end up spending up all their money and not caring about money. So they got to be careful when dealing with a Pisces. But they're more than able to be a great salesperson or the media, because they got the gift to do that. But the reason why it's not good for them to do that, because they're more spiritual. And so with this being said, they can get out of control when dealing with materialistic people, materialistic things, and they don't like people who have a judging attitude, so they're very sensitive to people who judge them, and they dislike that. People who have Mars and Pisces, that they see the good in everybody, and so sometimes they could be blind by that and get used. They get used by people who want to use them for advantage. About how they feel, that good feeling, because they deal with the spiritual realm, and so they feeling it. They feel that compassion, that love, and they understand the energy that's within them, that flow. So they're super psychic. They can read you like a book. It don't matter if you're talking about clairvoyance, if you're talking about empathic or empath, if you're talking about telepathic, or whatever psychic ability. You know what I mean? Because they have really all the psychic ability, because they are the old souls. Pisces is the 12th sign, which means they have all of the traits within themselves. Understand their psychic gifts and their vision, they can act on it by understanding the signs, the dreams, and their intuition, and understanding what they see, the pictures, the views. Immutable signs, so they can adapt to anywhere, any place, anything. You know what I mean? So Pisces got to have a variety, because they're a mutable sign. Keep up with them. They stay on the go, they stay on the move. You never know what they're going to do. And so Pisces is according to how they feel. It's according to the environment. It will make them, because they got to have an environment where they can be a free spirit. Because they're very spiritual. They got to be a free thinker, a free spirit. Really, they live by their intuitive self, their intuition, more than a book. They super psychic. Great healers, because they always want to help someone, and they see the best in people. And so they make great healers, because they got the psychic gifts and ability, because they're very empathic, where they can heal. They very creative with their hands. So their feet is the spot where they can feel the energy flow too. Their feet is one of their energy sources. Everything that's spiritual, like dancing, music, the arts, they be good in, because they good at imagining something. So they be good in writing and the arts and music and stuff like that. So they can also live in their imagination. They like to live in their imagination. Sometimes they don't want to come down back to the earthly plane, and so they can get caught up in the superficial world or impractical world. Mars get an ability to come down quickly, but it's up to them. See, this is how you use the energy. It's up to you. They like to go with the flow most of the time. So with Mars getting the ability to create their own flow, not to go with the flow, but give them that boldness, that braveness to create your own flow. And it could be hard for a Mars and Pisces person to take action on anything. And so once they got their mind right, or they got their balance, this is how they win. Very charming. You know what I mean? But sometimes they can appear to people that they can't hurt a fly. But we got to understand that Mars is in Pisces, so anything is liable. Because Mars is a water spirit. So when you got fire and water, it could be an explosive time bomb. Just like a Cancer, but it won't be in the Cancer type of way. Because these energies, even though they're water, they still different, move different as a water sign. Definitely, the Pisces individual, like the Mars and Pisces, makes you a good spiritual healer, a spiritual master, a spiritual teacher. Anything that deal with energy and deal with spirituality, you'll be the master of that. And so it's for you to use your universal powers and of all the elements, which is earth, fire, water, air, all of them. For you to use every element that deal with energy. For example, to use like gemstones, which is earthly, to use like air, to use like burning incense or sage, to use like water. This is how you purify yourself, stuff like that. And you sprinkle water to purify anything. So this, for example, as a healer, you nasty as sage, nasty old soul, and when your soul is right, you one of the best, and nothing can stop you. You're magical, because whatever you visualize, whatever you think, you manifest it. You can manifest it. You're magical because you're very spiritual, and you can read people like a book. So nothing can stop you because you can know people intense. So this is the great thing about you, because you're one of the most psychic signs there is out of all the water signs. You express yourself a lot. You're so expressive. This makes you a good spokesperson. And since you love having fun and you got love of life, it makes you also, because you got a good talk game, because you're good at expressing yourself, you're good at talking, you're very creative the way you talk, because you might have a different styles, because this is the Neptune energy, and Mars will spice it up. So this makes you a good spokesperson, and also this makes you good when it comes to the public. See what I'm saying? So you could be a good actor. You know, play roles. You know, do all that because you got all the powers as the old soul. So the media, and the media make you'll be a good actor, a film director. You'll be good at inventing characters and stuff like story writing. You'll be good at divination or divination, like astrology, numerology, anything that's deal with metaphysics or science. You be good at anything that's spiritual or divine. You're definitely good at that. That I mean, anything like healing, like massage therapy, anything that deal with psychology. And so, on the downside though, you can play the victim role. Play like you to help this victim, like people against you, like people did this against you, because you can't see the big picture on the downside. And on the downside, you can type who like to avoid conflict and who can't face confrontation. You know what I mean? Very passive aggressive. And the thing is that you could be the one who be very lustful, who have a habits, because you could be into a lot of habits like sex habits, alcohol habits, drug habits, and any habit that is so deteriorating. Just so you can escape your problems, just so you can escape your emotions or your anger. You get into all of this. Protect your spirit because you're very sensitive and you're vulnerable. So protect your spirit, Mars and Pisces. You see sex is fantasy. You can live in your mind. And that's the greatest sex, is imagine it. And so as long as you come down and get that out your mind, you put it into use. But other than that, it's like a fantasy. You imagine it first. You do all imagination. Your imagination is deep. You're very happy when you're dealing with your imagination. But your happy sex would be spiritual sex or conscious sex. Conscious sex, which means mental sex, would mean like spiritual stipulation. Anything that's spiritual, like music, the arts, anything that deal with the vanity, the beauty of a woman, you know what I mean? Because you can visualize, you can imagine it. And anything that you see as love, you know what I mean? This will make you get your rocks off. Anything that deal with conscious sex, this will get your rocks off without even having it physically. So this is you're the type that can already have sex in your mind and your emotions, in the water of your emotions or your imagination, before you even have it physically. So that's the thing about you. So Mars give you the ability to even carry it out. You know what I mean? And so when you do have sex, you already know how it's gonna work or how it's gonna go because you already visualize it. So your energy continue to flow. You're restless. You're just flowing with energy. The universe is always flowing through you and out you. You're naturally connected with the universal source. You're naturally connected with the universal source. The energy always flowing through you and telling you things and letting you know things. You're restless on the inside, but you're calm on the surface. You're very calm looking. Like you just calm, the coolest thing on the planet. To be spaced out, while people dating you, the reason why, because you into your other world, you're into your spiritual world, so you got to come down to reality for you to stay in a relationship, because it's a challenge there. You're like a free spirit. You're always shifting it. Your spirit is always shifting. Your emotions are always shifting into many things. You got to have a variety, and so it's always shifting. You're trying this, you're trying that. It's going from thing to thing, place to place. You know what I mean? You're just shifting. Your interest is always shifting, always changing, and so nobody can hold you down. You're the free spirit. Staying in the dreamy mind state. You have the dreamy mind. Stay in the dream world. Even no matter where you at, you stay daydreaming. Meditation is the key to keep you balanced and help you channel your energy to keep you right. Instead of expecting for things in return, it's best for you to not expect nothing in return. This is when you get the greatest satisfaction, when you don't expect nothing back. Them unstable relationships, because this is what you love, right? And so you are the artistic, passionate one. And so it's King Lit who bring you this light. Keep scribing in the spiritual plane of existence, and this is how you win. And be persistent in it. Kamal give you that energy to do it. Ashe.